had dropped, because that was the moment that I realized I needed to start buckling down. Um, like you said, two random, completely random protesters, I still have no idea who they are, helped me scoop her up, and like she said, just was dragging her at a certain point. And I mean, these were all split second decisions. You know, this was happening very, very, very quickly. She was not on the ground for longer than 2, 3 seconds, you know. We had drug her off. Like she said, her feet were quite literally dragging on the ground as we're pulling her away, trying to just anything. Like I said, at this point, they were chasing us, they were shooting at us, they were tear gassing us. I turned around at one point and I saw literal children get gassed. I saw people being grabbed by the back of their shirts, being thrown to the ground, and quite frankly, having the shit beat out of them. Like she said, at one point, her eyes started to flutter, and she started to kind of regain consciousness, and at that point, I was, thank God. I don't know what I would have had to do if I had to carry her all the way back to the car. Like I said, we had parked at 2nd and Selden, and by the time we had reached the dumpster, it was on Grand River Boulevard and Times Square. So that'll put the walk for you in terms of actual length. We had poured water over her head at one point while we were walking. While we were walking, I'd also ripped her scarf out from around her neck and had stuffed it into the back of her head and was just putting pressure the best I can. I know with these kind of wounds, with just head wounds in general, they bleed a lot. Even superficial wounds can tend to bleed a lot, so I wasn't really sure what to even expect. I just saw lots of blood. When we poured the water on her head, though, all I can say is I just saw flesh and hair, and I knew it was not good. So it was from then on, pressure, pressure, pressure. Like she said, we had stopped at that dumpster surrounded by about 6 to 8 protesters, all of which pretty much just trying to form a barricade around us to separate us sitting on the ground from the police that were at this point about 4 to 5 car lengths away. And I mean, it was only a group of at most 12 of us. And they were beating on their shields, just like she described it, being very aggressive, being very implicative of aggression. Other protesters were screaming, "This girl's head is bleeding. She is going to die. We need a medic. This girl is going to die." And they pretty much just beat on their shields and said, "Send her over," just like she said. It was just a lot. I mean, at one point somebody tried to pour beer on her head. That was a whole other situation, to which I responded with more water. Who the hell does that? And yeah, I mean, at this point I just realized we had to get back to the car. We just had to. And I had her wrapped around like this, and I was carrying her back to the car. She was trying to describe to me the signs. I was trying to see if she could read anything. She was very, very impaired in terms of vision at this point. When there were cracks in the sidewalk, I was just trying to say things like, "The sidewalk's fucked up here, watch your step," you know, just any little thing I can to help her so she doesn't trip. And I mean, over this whole duration, she remained conscious. Like, once she regained consciousness, she did not fall asleep until they told her she could in the hospital. And I mean, just from the moment she got hit until we got to the hospital was at least 2 hours. And she was conscious and bleeding that whole time. So I just want to preface that with her badassery and staying awake and keeping a level head. And yeah, when we got to the hospital, it was about a 40-minute drive. We got to Macomb Henry Ford, was it? Hospital, I believe. And yeah, and there they cared for her wounds, and they did an amazing job. Is there anything you'd like to add? Great.
Okay, so I think after talking to B here about getting me into the car, finally, after the very end of heat of things, it took about an hour, I would say, to get to the hospital.
40 minutes.
40 minutes to an hour, traffic. I don't remember that well, to get to the hospital. I didn't even consider that due to the health regulations going on that I would be separated from B almost immediately. As soon as I was brought to the front doors, they turned her away and said, due to health regulations, you can't be in here, no visitors, none of that. I panicked. I panicked a little bit. It was very nerve-wracking. I do want to thank all the medical professionals. They were super helpful, super quick, got everything done, but I would like to make note that I was conscious for all of this. There was no anesthesia used. There was a little bit of numbing cream, but that was it. I was fully conscious being stitched. It was a great learning experience for me as I got some pictures taken just for my own personal use to see what was going on because I can't see the back of my head.
And I was not going to dare take pictures in the dark when we were trying to rush her to the hospital.
Right, I was begging to get pictures taken, and B over here is like, that's not going to happen.
Just
Hold
ask
pressure
for the nurse to do it. The
on
nurse,
your head. Right.
The nurse will
Later.
get photos.
So, I just want to again thank everybody for their quick response time and for being so helpful, calming me down, taking the time to reach out to everybody that was necessary to contact in the heat of the moment, calming me down because again, not thinking about having my support system right there at my side didn't even cross my mind until it happened. So it was crazy, it was quick, and it was super helpful. I am feeling much better now, a couple days after the incident. I was pretty sore originally,
It's been about a week, I think.
but we're doing good. And again, the experience was something I will literally never ever forget for a whole lifetime.
And I want to preface too that neither of us would take back anything that we've done. We don't regret it. If anything, this is why we went out there to see for ourselves and to get the real on the situation. And like I said, having friends and family out in the city that this is their reality every day, we didn't just want to ignore that.
We've had family as well that have been victims of police brutality, and that's another personal reason I can't watch anybody, friends, family, go through anything that allows them to suffer. I would definitely, absolutely, as soon as I'm healed, going to go back and peacefully protest and have my voice heard and again find links and anything I can do to educate myself further and help make a change.
And I mean, one of the things that people were sending us is going, oh, do you guys need any money? Do you need help with the medical bills? And she has pretty decent health insurance. We're not struggling financially, and we don't want to pad our pockets. One of the things we've just been sending out is all the different donation links to the bail funds, to anything Black Lives Matter related, Like I said, it's not about padding our pockets. We really would like to get money that would have otherwise been sent to us out into these donation funds where it actually does matter and it does make a difference.
And again, as I mentioned, we're learning every single day, more and new things that we can do to help and to point you guys in directions of and ourselves as well. So it's a learning process, a huge learning curve for myself right now. And I'm just trying to do step by step as I'm healing as much as I can in terms of financial, educational, motivational, inspirational ways to just keep my community and every community uplifted and changing in positive ways, positive strides.
Right now, we need to be lifting up each other now more than ever. It's so important. I mean, what I did for her is something that I would do for anyone at all.
Being.
And that's
We can
so
ask
important.
questions later.
That's so important. It doesn't matter who is out in the street bleeding. Pick them up, help them, do something. It's all up to us now.
It's in our hands. We're taking control. We're making our voice heard.